Our first baby was stillborn. We lost him. He was a little boy. Charlotte was in labor for 37 hours, and I, well, I didn't understand why people were coming and going, coming in pregnant, going out with a baby, and I'm sitting there and no baby, and couldn't see Charlotte because Letterman General Hospital was an Army hospital, and they don't do things like they do today, allow you to go in and be with your wife. We lost our first baby. We lost our second baby. She lived only a few hours and died because she was born so premature. She was born, her lungs weren't developed. She only weighed a pound and something under 2 pounds when she was born. And so it was she passed away. Now here's Charlotte, who wants to have a family. That's the most important thing to her, to have a child or two and start her family. She loses her two first babies. Here's all the rest of the group on Sunday evening holding their babies, nursing them with a towel over their shoulder. And here's Charlotte sitting empty-handed. That had a real effect on her. We got to thinking, and the doctor who had delivered the first baby, one of the people in this group was a doctor. And he told us that when they delivered the first baby that was stillborn, they had injured her in some way that it may be that she would never be able to carry a baby again full term. And that the best she would be able to do would be maybe 5 months. And that's what happened with the second one, was we lost her because she couldn't carry that baby. So we went, I talked to my dad about it, and I said, what do you think we can do, Dad? And he says, why don't you talk to President Kimball? President Kimball was my father's cousin, and he was in the Quorum of 12 at that time. And he said, talk to him. So we made an appointment with, he was Apostle Kimball at that time. And we told him that how badly that we would like to have children, and we'd lost our first two, and we were told that the clitoris or some doggone thing, I don't know, something was pulled off when they used the forceps to extract that baby who was born with the cord around its neck, a placenta previa. And so the baby was dead when it came out, but she was injured so that she couldn't carry a child full time. So we went to President Kimball and told him, what can we do? And he gave her a blessing. And he promised Charlotte that her quiver would be full. I didn't quite know what that meant at the time. But since that time, she was able to have 5 additional children, but they had them all cesarean. In those days, cesarean was something that was seldom done. They didn't know a lot about it in those days. But she had the next 5 children. They all were premature. They were all 6-month babies or 6.5-month babies, but their lungs were developed enough that they could breathe, which Nadine, which was our little girl that died, she lived long enough that I could give her a name. We named her Nadine, and we named the little boy Jace. Race was our little boy. So we have Race, Nadine, and then we have 5 more children after that all lived. By the time we got to BYU now, we'd lost the two children, and our first child was born while we were at BYU in 1957. That was Rulinda, and she's been the joy of our heart. And after Rulinda, we got Trace. Trace is really named Ezra John Nixon III, but we didn't want to call him Ezra or John, so we called him the third. Uno, dos, tres. And Trace goes by, spelled Tres, just like the Spanish word for third is. Trace is our second, and he was only 3 pounds. And I remember when Trace was born, I remember holding him in one hand. Now, you think how much 3 pounds of hamburger is. That's how big he was. We used one of my handkerchiefs as a diaper for him. He was that small, little tiny legs and little tiny arms. And now all of our children were born very small, none of them over 5 pounds. And yet they're all healthy, strong, very, very productive children. And that came because of a blessing that Apostle Kimball gave my wife.